Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Devil's Advocate Trades Edition with your host, me, Lisa McGrath. And I am joined today by my very good girlfriend, Darci Dagg, and she is amazing. And Darci has worked in the oil field, and actually, she's still kind of technically in oil. Hey, Darce?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So welcome to the show, and thanks for coming and hanging out with me and my people.
Well, thank you for asking me to join you.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
I'm going to tell everybody why I asked you, because Darci is on the boots on the ground. So you worked for a company. I don't like mentioning company names, so we won't. But you used to work for a company when I first met you that was heavy in oil, and you did some amazing. Like, your story is actually super amazing, which I think people need to hear. How you got to go to Saudi Arabia, and you were on the tarmac.
Oman.
Where?
Oman.
Oman. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell our listeners, so what was that journey like when you were working for that company? What did you do, and what was your experience, and how was it out in where? Come on, is that what it was?
Oman.
Okay.
Like Muscat.
How was it?
It was good, really good. But that was I'd been with them probably 8 years at that point. So it was basically sending me over there to teach them ways of organizing and counting their inventory so that you wouldn't have inventory supply problems.
Okay.
And you could provide service and equipment to your customers. And I was only there I was on the ground in the desert for probably 18 hours. It was a whirlwind trip. There was more travel time and layovers, but it was a really neat experience. Camels walk wild out there, but they belong to people. That was...
Like horses?
No, horses, you have fences.
Oh.
There's no fences in the desert. Like, we were 3 hours out into the middle of the desert. And what's wild is seeing all the oil line, the pipeline, above ground.
Oh.
So what we drive over here, you could see above ground there.
Oh, wow.
That was wild to me because, But it was interesting. I was in the camp for just one night and then back to Muscat and then flew home.
You were in their compound, though, right? Because
yes.
I think I remember you telling me that you weren't allowed to leave at all.
No, I wasn't. And I couldn't wear shorts or anything. And it was about 38 degrees, which for a Canadian Alberta in the cold person, that was hot and hard. But
yeah,
it was, I wouldn't change the experience for anything. And it was really cool flying over. When I flew over there, it was at night. So over Abu Dhabi and Dubai and that, and the way they have built their cities and the lights and everything, it was really neat seeing it from above in real time, right? Instead of pictures and that. So yeah, I did a lot for that company. A lot of, I think at one time I counted, I did 12 or 13 different roles in my 11 and a half years with them.
Walk through all the roles with me. Sorry to interrupt you, Darcy. Walk through the roles with me. What did you do?
I started out pulling wrenches in the shop and doing deliveries and building. Well, I can say we built screw pumps. You'd get the pumps and you have to put all the, as we call it, jewelry on and everything. And at that time, no hydraulic pipe wrenches. So it was snipes and pipe wrenches and everything, tightening the fittings on. And at that point in time, we had to hold a lot of inventory in our stores because we matched everything up and that. And then, so I did 4 years of field service work out of a field shop. And then I moved down to the production plant in Calgary. And then I went from the mechanics to accounting to domestic shipping and receiving to international tech team to and then they sent me up to Peace River for a little bit to help that shop out for about a month. And when I came back, my job had been dissolved. And I had been given a special role I'm getting ahead of that's a long time ago now. Whew. And when I came back, they had a bunch of layoffs. So my only option was to drive the delivery truck. And I was told it would be temporary. Well, 3 months later, driving a truck and a 30-foot trailer around in the city of Calgary, it wears on a person. And I didn't even want to go out and get groceries on weekends. I'm like, I'm not driving in the city. I can't. No, whatever.
I know you left us, and you're all the way in Bonnyville now. You left.
Yeah, I'm way up. I'm on the south side of the North Country, is what I tell people. So, but yeah, and then I went to them and kind of gave them an ultimatum that if they didn't get me off the truck and deliveries and into something else, that I would probably have to look for something else because it was weighing on my mental health. I wasn't doing good, and you guys said it would be temporary, and now we're pushing on 4 months. Yeah. You know, a few months is 3, a few is 3 to a lot of people. I think that's a common.
Well, temporary can be anything. Like it could be anywhere from like a week to like 5 months is temporary in most employers' minds. But in a person's mind, temporary is like 2 months. I need to be in something different. Like that's their kind of drop dead date is 2 months, depending on the role, right? Especially when you're making money. I mean, nobody wants to be stuck somewhere that they don't want to be for any more than 2 months.
I feel bad for individuals out there that are making ends meet and aren't enjoying getting up in the morning to go to their job. Everybody's going to have a bad day. Yeah. It's inevitable. But if you dread going, there was a point in time at a different company. It was when I was in the interim of out of the oil field.
Yeah.
I was crying every day going into work. Because everybody was so negative there. You'd say good morning and you get what's good about it. And just the grumpiness was unbearable. It's like, you woke up this morning, your vehicle started, you probably had food in your fridge, you had running water. I think it's a pretty good morning. I don't know. You know, it's just, and it was,
yeah. I talked about this with my other podcast, my girlfriend Maria, and she says, I wake up every day in gratitude. I'm warm and I'm dry. Everything's good. I'm happy. Like those are the things. And so, and you and I have always kind of operated in that way where we wake up and we're like, every time I call you, you're always so chipper. You're always like, hi. And I'm like, I love calling Darci. It's like my favorite thing is to call you because I know you're not going to be like, hey, you're going to be like, hi. Oh my goodness. Like you're so excited to just talk to people that you like, that you love. Right. So I love calling you. And it's like my favorite thing to do. Cause I know you're going to be, because you're so excitable. You're like a puppy, Darce. You're so excited.
Sorry. I kind of caught a cold too here.
It's okay. I have one too. It's cold and flu season. We're in Chinook now, right?
I've got my minerals in my water.
Oh yeah. I've got my lemon in my water.
I also have coffee.
Me too. That's awesome. So now you're pulling wrenches, right? You're pulling wrenches up in Bonnyville.
Yeah. But I'm grateful for it in a way that it keeps me fit and strong and mentally strong too, because it's a lot of physical work. It's a lot of heavy metal I'm moving.
I know it is. And then you came and did a small stint with me at LPM, and you gained a passion of safety when you were with me. I had you do a ton of safety stuff because I was focusing highly on my safety at the time. I don't anymore. I'm like, no, I can't. There's too. First of all, it's saturated. The safety industry is saturated.
Yeah. I did go for a little stint. I was going to plan on being an entry-level health and safety person. Long story short, I knew it wasn't going to pan out to anything because one of those biggest reasons was it's so saturated. Our market is our industry is so saturated with it that like, I don't want to be that statistic of somebody who gets a certificate or a diploma or whatever it may be and there's nothing out there for you
Right?
for it.
Yeah.
And it's yeah. It
Well,
still
and
is
that's
a
it.
passion of mine, but it's a passion that I've kind of had to let go of. I still care about people and people's health and safety, don't get me wrong, but
Yep.
pursuing it, I guess,
Yeah, but I mean, you
is
can pursue it in your everyday, right? Like you can, like in your own shop, you can help implement different little things that you know will help with making it safer. Now, I know that you are out in like redneck country and dealing with a bunch of boys who don't want to listen to anybody but themselves. And trust me, it doesn't matter where you are in Alberta, unless you are a big conglomerate that basically says this is a condition of your employment. Most of these guys just go to the beat of their own drum, and when you try to get them, to do stuff, they're kind of like, meh. Like there's things that I witness when I was like running sites. I'd be like the superintendent or the project manager, and I was running sites, and I'd watch the guys do things, and I was like, is that smart? Is that smart? And they're like, well, it's done, isn't it? I'm like, I'm gonna smack you.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to be the one telling your girlfriend, wife, mother that you decided to hang over the eaves trough on a 4-foot building, or like 4-story building, on a 4-story building, that you decided to hang over the edge and have your belt as an anchor, or have someone holding your feet. I'm like, I'm, what am I supposed to be like? Oh yeah, well, I saw him fall. Well, what did you do? Well, he did a safety meeting that morning.
Yep. Oh,
So I'd always yell at them, and I'd give them citations and be like, you're getting written up for that. And they're like, whatever.
Yeah. So, and sometimes the write-ups don't even
Don't mean
work
anything.
with individuals. It's frustrating as a health and safety professional that you can't, it's having techniques though, and it's knowing what ones, and some people just aren't, but to get through to them, what can I do differently to get through to you, that sticking your finger there where you could potentially lose it because you're not following all the safety policies that are put in place.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to explain it to you. Then you're going to have a lifelong impact.
Yeah.
It's going to last a lifetime. It's not something that is a Band-Aid or, some rehabilitation.
Agreed. So what I found being a mother, what I have discovered, and someone who's run lots of trades on site, is that women, if you tell them, don't do that, this is the end result, are normally like, okay. Men, it's like they got to put their finger in the socket and get electrocuted. And then they're like, oh, maybe I don't do that. Yeah. And then you have some of them that are like the Bart Simpson, that are like, this fucking thing. And then they keep doing it. And you're like, what? You're not going to win. Like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, But anyways, it is what it is. So, I mean, another great aspect about one of the reasons why I invited you onto the show is that you are a female in the male trade.
Mm-hmm. It is. So there's a lot of males. You get to deal with
all the wonderfulness.
Yep. I'll say something. I find the attitude, I guess, if that's the appropriate word, has changed quite a bit since when I was in my 20s.
Agreed.
I got told more than once that there's no way you'd be allowed to work on the rig because you're a female. Now I look at it like, did I ask you? I don't want to work on your service rig. I'm not interested in that job. But and not help you because you're female when you're out on site. But yeah, nowadays it's different, and I know that mental health is starting to come out a lot, and you like you've mentioned it a lot in your podcast and everything, but companies are being more aware of the impact egos and such can have. Well, but it is, I have not seen a female on any site that I've gone to other than maybe tubing inspection or something like that.
So I'll tell you what, so being two women that work on sites with men, I see two different things. Okay. So I get to work alongside some of those women, and it depends where they are situated. So I've worked with women on sites that are part of the trade. So the physical and skilled trade labor. And some of them are really great. They got good eye. They're smart at their job. They've got the technical and skill aspect down packed. But the level of drama they bring sometimes can be a little bit overwhelming. And when I say drama, I mean, I don't mean like, oh, I'm late because of my kids. Like, I mean, just because guys,
That's
you don't
life.
see enough guys doing that. Like, I never gave girls a hard time if there was like a babysitter issue or issue at school, and I wouldn't give the guys a problem either if they had to leave. Kids are kids. But it was always like, an issue with a guy at work. And I was always like, well, what's the issue? Like, is the issue that this person is being inappropriate? Because we know that's, incredibly realistic at times, because guys can be really inappropriate. And me being a female, I can be just as highly inappropriate as a male if I want to be, just to like, shake them in their boots, right? I trucker mouth, right? So, but I mean, that's me. There's not a lot that intimidates me. So when they would come and they would kind of do the victim role, I was like, you can't do that here. You got to stand your ground, put in your fucking boundaries, and let them know that if this continues, it's going to be reported.
Yeah.
And period. And just let it go. Be like, yeah, I have tits and a vagina. Sorry, you're struggling to work. Sounds like a you issue. I need to get a job done. If you keep being inappropriate with me, I'm going to report it. My boundary has been set. Don't cross the fucking line. Period. Yep. And some guys you have to do that with. Most guys just get along with them. Most guys just are like girls. They just like go in their little circles and they have like a little conversation about the girl. Like, oh my gosh, she's so hot, blah, 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 right? You don't usually hear that. Like they're usually like a group of girls going to the bathroom together. You know what I mean? Like that's how they talk about women normally. So you don't hear about it. There's always the one brazen asshole that like shows a little bit of like I always call it the predatory type of behavior, because it's like, no means try harder. And I'm like, no is a sentence.
Yeah. There's absolutely no arguing when I say no.
Yeah. No doesn't mean try harder, bro.
Yeah.
No. But then you and I are also very quick-witted, because we're not too far apart in age. We're very quick-witted, which we both look great, by the way, because when you were like, when I was in my 20s, I'm like, what do you mean? You're not in your 20s anymore?
Yeah. No. I'm reminded of that.
If you look at the girl, if you look at the 20-year-olds now, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like fucking ancient. And I look good for my age.
I'm just like, just a little bit of like, just a little bit tighter. That's just a little bit. Because when I put the blush on this morning, I'm like, you can see all the lines. It sits on top. What the hell?
Oh my God.
Because I don't wear makeup, right? Like I never put makeup on, but I'm like, you told me the camera can wash your face out. So I'm like, I need a little red.
Like, a little red.
I don't want to look like I'm dying.
She's coming on all blotchy and shit.
What's wrong with you? What?
You're like, Darci, do you have a rash? What's happening? She'll be like, no, bitch, I put some blush on for you. No, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, so then there's those women, and then there's the women that do the paperwork that are all I see them everywhere, these women that are like, the male counterpart can do no wrong. And so I can get like that if you are a male counterpart that has a brain in your head that understands everybody has a role and is very skilled at their job, but they don't have a shit attitude. I will defend my people regardless of male or female, especially if you're skilled, smart, and you don't treat people like shit. I will defend you to the end of the earth. I will throw everybody else under the bus to defend you if I have to. And that's just who I am. I'm very loyal to the people that show me the respect and loyalty back. But I've had these women that are just like, they think the person can do no wrong. And I almost like, that's where the stigma of like, don't let some girl call your husband or your partner the work wife, because you almost got to wonder how far those roots go. But for me, when I used to say work wife, because you know that when I was with my ex, I had an assistant, and the assistant was basically his work wife. And I loved her. She knew everything about the family. She loved the kids. And I would call her and ask her, I'd be like, hey, he needs to do this today. Can you make sure he does this, please? Because he wasn't listening to fucking me. You know, men are always, the men get tired and they get the, you know, you get the, they call it the wife mute, right?
Yeah.
And so
Selective
she
hearing.
would do it, and she'd get him to the bank. She'd make sure he was going to the doctor. She'd get it all done. So to me, it was like, that's the work wife I need. I need someone, I need a tag team that's going to get his ass out the door and do shit. And she did, and she was amazing. And I, you know, like, for me, I wasn't upset about it. I think that there is a level of work wife that needs to be there, but they need to be like working with the wives. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's hard though, like with a lot of companies where individuals don't know the spouse or whatever. When my ex told me that a buddy of mine at work was my work husband, I looked at him. I didn't even know what that meant, and I'm like, "Oh goodness, shit! what have I done?" He's like, "No, it's just your guy at work."
Yeah.
He's like, you know, it's, and then I understood that, and then what you're saying, and for me personally, I feel that where you work, because you spend a majority of your time there, it's nice to get along with your coworkers.
Yeah.
And be on a certain tightness level with them. If a good friendship comes out of that, that's awesome. I don't expect that. I like if we're good at work and we get along, and maybe I'm not getting invited to your barbecue on Saturday or whatever because our friendship isn't at that. Yeah. So be it. Yeah. But I mean, over the years, well, because I'm 40, the amount of friends. Yes, I am. 1984, baby. I have great friends from spent years working together, and we don't work together now, obviously, and we still keep in touch.
Yeah. And I think that's a great thing because, like you said, we spend a lot of our time at work, and having male camaraderie. Now, so for me, I was the type of person that whenever I would click with a male on site, I wanted to know everything about him. I wanted to know his wife's name, how many kids they have, you know, what they do, what they like to do, what his wife likes to do, because then when like things would come around, I would make sure to give things to the wife and children. I was like, I see your stupid ass every day. Make sure your wife and kids get this, you know? And then he would be like, what am I, chopped liver? And I'm like, yeah, I see your stupid ass every day. Let her know I'm not a threat. Yeah. And that's what I would do. Let her know I'm not a threat, that you've told me enough about your family that I have been able to, you know, concoct a gift that is personalized to them. Yeah. Right. And so that was, and some women are really appreciative of it. And then like, I'll be like, I want your wife's number. And I would text her and say, my name is so-and-so. I work with your spouse. If there's ever a problem, please let me know. If he needs to get home for kids, if there's an issue anywhere going on, like you can call me. If you're worried about something, here's my direct number. And that would put a lot of them at ease, because as women, there is a stigma. There is a stigma that, you know, because there's a lot of dating that goes on sites. There's a lot of married people that are getting involved. I mean, like the numbers have skyrocketed since COVID. Like if you didn't make it through COVID, there's a reason. Because nobody's ever in close proximity with each other for that much time. It's like you bank on having that break from your partner so that you can kind of miss them. Right? So when you're with somebody, I got to be honest with you, I think there's very few and far between of people that I know that made it through COVID solid. Yeah. Then there's then the next level was like, there was this, like the waves, but they're still together. And then there's the ones that are like divorced. Yep. Yeah. That's, I seen that too when, I can't remember the year, but it was in my 20s when oil crashed for the first time, or I think it was the second time because that stint was longer. And people in the community where I was from getting divorced because their husbands, who were consultants that worked 3 months away every stint, were now home full time, and they found out they can't live with each other. Yeah, they were like, "Oh my God, I married this asshole." It's funny to me because I'm an asshole. It's unfortunate, but also you figured out this is not your person. It's not your person. Yeah, there's. I know. I love the memes that you see online when it's like, girl, if he chose this person, he's walking around with trash. or blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I kind of giggle because I'm like, I get the joke and the humor behind it because I mean, like, I have an ex that I could be like, haha, true. But at the same time, I don't look at him as walking around with trash. I look at her as walking around with trash. So I reverse it. I'm like, I know what he's all about. You don't.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. You'll figure it out.
Maybe you're the person that'll make him change.
Right. And that was something that, you know, and I said that on one of my podcasts. I was like, I might not be his solution, but I certainly won't be their problem.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Right.
Right. Because everybody, there is an opportunity for people to be different with different people. And I truly believe that. I've met people I've met a guy who was like, you couldn't settle him down. He was like a serial cheater. You know, and everyone's always like, oh, leopard doesn't change its spots. A lot of times they're right. But I actually have met a guy who was a serial cheater, and he met a woman, and he just fell head over heels in love with her. And like, to this day, I mean, like, she's even said to me, she's like, you know, because I know the past and blah, blah, blah. She's like, I don't want to be that girl that thinks that, you know, I'm the one. Like, she's still kind of in that headspace of what makes me so special. Like, if he's done this to everybody else, what would make me so special? And she told me one day, she pulled me aside and she said, you know, I had a PI go out after him after like being with him for a year, and they're like, you're good. He's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, he's out looking for things for you. He's constantly talking about you. Like, you are something inside of you and something inside of him has made him change to be that person. But sometimes it's just people are just immature and just need to grow and find a person that's going to support them properly, right? Because we all have our own traumas, and it's women too. It's not just men; it's women too. I've met serial cheaters that are women, and I'm like,
it goes.
ew.
Yeah, we both know it goes both ways.
Yeah,
I guess we have to say that because.
But I'm going to tell you something. I remember I was talking to this one girl, and she was telling me about how she told me her body count, and it was too high for my liking. It's my personal preference what I think a regular body count
to their
should
own,
be.
right?
Yeah, each to their own. And so she gave me her body count, and I just kind of cocked my eyebrow and was kind of like, you know, kind of made like a face. And then she was like, well, you can't judge me. And I'm like, well, I can because you told me.
Yeah.
So I kind of can.
I'm not saying anything to you. Sorry, my face said it, but
I'm like, right?
Like, that just means it doesn't fit right with me personally. Do you? I didn't attack your character or abilities or anything.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I said, well, hang on, because she's like, well, is it because I'm a woman and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I'd look at you the same if you were a guy. I'm like, to me, your body should be a temple. It should be, you know, if you're going to fucking eat McDonald's every day, that's your choice. Probably not going to be super healthy on the inside, but that's your choice. Yeah. Am I going to judge it? A little bit. Maybe you should throw some salad in there and not McDonald's salad, you know, you know, but you know, I look at it like men, like you got to think about it. This is how many people you've been inside or have been inside you. And to me, that's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. Like, I get so grumpy about that, especially when you've got like, especially with the hookup culture that's out there. And then women are like, I can't find a good guy. And I'm like, no shit, because now there's a menu for sex online.
Yeah.
Because some women will and some women won't. And then everyone's like, oh, they'll always take the easier woman. Not all the time. It's not that they'll take the easier woman. It's that they'll take the path of least resistance. Because here's the thing that's still the same with most women, even in hookup culture. If there's something they like about you and they think you're dating, they're still the bunny boilers. They're still the women.
Boilers?
Yeah, bunny boilers. Did you never watch Fatal Attraction?
No.
Darcy.
No.
Fatal Attraction with Michael Douglas and Glenn Close?
No,
I know
who those are, but no, I know that movie exists.
You don't know who Michael Douglas and Glenn Close
yes,
are?
I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I told you, I'm a series girl, not a movie girl.
Okay, so let's just wrap this up real quick for you. Fatal Attraction is when Michael Douglas is married, has a nice, happy wife, happy life family, ends up having an affair, like a one-night stand affair, and the woman gets attached to him. And I think they sleep together. I haven't seen the movie in years. I think they sleep together a couple of times. But anyway, she becomes super attached. and starts showing up. She shows up to the kid's school. She pays attention to where his wife goes. She pays attention to everything. And then one day, because he's not returning her calls and he's telling her to fucking stay away, he doesn't want anything to do with her. He comes home and his child had a little pet bunny, and she put the bunny in a pot and boiled it. Yeah. Bunny boilers. That's what we call them. Okay. Psycho women who get attached and are like, and don't know how to disassociate what's happened. It's like you chose to sleep with a man who had no interest in being with you any further than a few times. Yeah. And now you've developed this relationship in your head that you think you're owed something. And men have done it too. There's stalkers in both. But that's why I say to people is I'm like, there's still that aspect, whether you're married, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're not, you are still inviting people into your world and transferring a level of energy with them that is going to mess up their head and be like, oh, well, this is my person. And meanwhile, you're like, you could be a single dad, single mom, whatever. And all of a sudden this person's showing up all the time, or all of a sudden there's notes showing up, or all of a sudden they're showing up at your work. And you're like, what the fuck? Like I went out on one date with you. We slept together once. Like, what is happening? And it's like, well, it's what you asked. What happened?
I went on 2 dates, maybe 3 dates. We didn't sleep together. We messed around a bit, but then he started showing up at my work.
Girl, see?
Every
Bunny
day.
boiler.
And I'm just like, no. Absolutely not.
Right?
At all. Like,
you're like, where in the date?
They weren't psychotic. And when I said, I can't do this, or I can't even remember. I was like 23, 22.
Oh, come on. You've been on some dates since then.
Yeah, a few of them. Yeah. But I'm single now, so if that has anything to say about it.
She's like, listen, well, it's so your name's cracking me up.
I need to like people more.
Right? You're like, if I could own like 100 acres of land and 100 dogs, I'm good to go. Because you love your puppies. But
I do.
I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, it's like when people are like, oh my God, the dating pool is a puddle. And I'm like, accurate. And then we work with men. So we're like, we get to see like the hypersensitive, because everyone's like, oh, it's easier to work with men. No, it's not. It's easier to work with women. Women are very action oriented. Women are very action oriented on task. So we're very task oriented. So it's like, do this, do this, do this, do this. I'm not going to sit here and say that women aren't dramatic or catty. Yes, they are. Absolutely. But most of the time, you know who likes you and who doesn't. There are some bitches that you don't, but I'm one of those people that I just don't care enough. So, I mean, like, and then there's, but then going on site with guys, like just the drama that come out of men, they're just, I'm like, oh my God, you guys, come on, please don't do this. And I'm like, I thought you guys said you don't like drama.
I mean, grade 5?
Yeah. And they're like, we don't like drama. And I'm like, oh, wow, that could have fooled me, bro.
It's either drama or a dick measuring contest. What would you like me to call it?
Yeah. I'm like, look, let's just get it straight. I have the biggest dick here. Now we all move on. Okay? And they're like, prove it. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. I'd be like, sometimes I'm super crude. I'm like, my pussy can take a pounding and your dicks can't. Your pussies fell out. You all a bunch of bitches. Get the fuck to work. I got the bigger dick. And they're like, start laughing. And they'd be like, Jesus Christ, Lisa. I was like, well, let's just call it like it is, right? Like, Jesus.
And you know your audience too, right? It's you can shoot the shit and talk shit like that with a lot of people, especially in our industries.
Yeah.
It's knowing. And there's even been times when I've talked and I'm like, oh, I hope nobody else was around to hear what I just said.
Right? Because
be written up probably.
There's that new legislation that if you're having a conversation and it's at an inappropriate level and somebody's within earshot, you can get written up for harassment. Yeah. And I remember I get so squirrely about that. Like I get really weird. Like if I'm having because I banter, you know me. I mean, we've known each other a long time. I'm constantly bantering. And if I'm bantering with a guy and it is 100% inappropriate and I'm bantering with him and a woman's like, that's inappropriate, I'll be like, then take your ass somewhere where you can't hear it, sensitive Sally. Would you like a hurt feelings report? Because I'm sure I could draw one up for you. And they're just like, well, and then she's like, well, I'm just saying. And I'm like, I'm just saying, you're the fucking reason guys get pissed off when you're on site, because they can't just be themselves and have the conversations. I'm not saying conversations that they're having should be an earshot of clients. They need to watch their mouths around clients, and they know that. But when it's their own team, they don't want to feel like they're constantly being fucking scrutinized because, you know, Amy might be upset about what, you know, Dave said to Troy, you know,
about
like
his butt.
Right?
Yeah.
Or
And
about
that's,
some chick that he was
I
dating. Like, I mean, guys get graphic about that shit, and I just laugh. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, are you exaggerating? A little bit? And they're like, I'm not exaggerating. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. It sounds like you're exaggerating.
Pretty sure we can find a video clip of somewhere where you probably seen that.
Right? I'm like, were you watching the hub, bro? Were you watching the hub? You taking notes?
Right. Well, and people like that, I want to ask them too. Are you mad for me that I should be mad that I'm having this conversation, that they're talking to me like that?
Yeah.
Because I can be mad for myself. I don't need anybody's protection in this, because you walked up as he was speaking to me.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't here 5 minutes before with what I said to him.
That's right.
That opens
That's right. You're missing
conversation,
context.
right? Like,
that's right. You're missing context.
You know, I play with pipe. You got a whole bunch of jokes with that.
Oh, insurmountable.
And I'll be the first, like...
You'll be the first one to be like, I'm going to lay some pipe.
Yeah. What if you had been on the phone with me when I'm unloading, or what? Not unloading, but whatever. When you stayed on the phone with me when I was loading all them frickin' rods.
I know. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, I'll stay on the phone. I just got a vacuum, but I'm going to check in with you. Yeah.
It's a good thing you were vacuuming the way I was huffing and puffing.
I know. I was like, I'm like, oh my God, am I on a 1-900-9? Darcy, talk dirty to me. There's a lot of heavy breathing. Just say something fun.
650 pounds that I moved in 15 minutes or whatever.
I know.
I was like, oh man. I'm done for the day. And then I had to unload the son of a bitches. So when I got back at, I don't know, 1 o'clock, I just want to go home. I want to sit in an Epsom salt bath. But fuck, my hot water tank doesn't fill my bathtub, so I can't even have a bath. Fuck.
She's there with her kettle. We're going to make this fucking work if it fucking kills me.
That's actually a good idea if I really want to have a bath.
Right? Oh my God. But yeah, no, it's true. If you're missing context of conversations, don't feel that you got to pay attention to both sides of the body language. Mm-hmm. Just because it offends you doesn't mean it offends me. And I'm a woman that can handle myself. And that's something that I also pay attention to when I'm on sites is the body language, right? Because 90% of the language, or well, I shouldn't say 90%, but a large percentage is what they don't say. It's paying attention to their mannerisms, their facial expressions, how they move their body. Are they closed off? You got to pay attention to all those things when you're communicating with someone, because then you're going to know if what you're saying bothers them. 9 times out of 10, I have an amazing rapport with most guys on site because I joke. Like, I was working with this framer. He was so funny. The way he said it. So, because you know how everyone says fucking the dog? Mm-hmm. I'm like, what are you doing here? Jesus Christ, nothing's been done. He's like, oh, you know, making puppies. And I fucking burst out. And I'm like, did you just say making puppies? I thought that was priceless. I was like, oh my God.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Right? Well played. Checkmate, bro. But it's just, like, there are some people that would have found that so offensive, and I thought it was hilarious. Like, I almost fell over walking up the stairs onto, like, the second level of, like, the construction.
That's a near miss report, by the way.
What's that?
That's a near miss report, by the way.
Listen, no one was there. There's no account of it.
Nobody's
no cameras. You're like, safety designation. Where's your near miss report? Yeah, I wrote it somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
I filed it. Under G. File 13, bro. File 13. But yeah, you know, I mean, I think that there's fun about being a woman on site if you're easygoing.
Oh my God.
And have a thick skin and don't have problem putting in boundaries and can just shoot the shit with the guys. Like, I grew up being one of the boys. I was a tomboy growing up. I don't know about you, Darce. I'm pretty sure you were a tomboy too. I mean, I remember when I would fucking talk to you and you were going dirt biking every other fucking weekend and you love mudding, you know, and that's a very tomboy thing to do. Most girls aren't going out mudding. There's a lot that do, but those ones they've got a tomboy nature to them. Right?
Yeah. Well, I grew up with horses for a better part of my life, and my dad was an outrider, so that's why we had the horses and that. So yeah, probably just more the physical work side. There was no blue or pink jobs.
It was everybody's job.
You just did it, right? And yeah, I was a total tomboy.
Yeah. I know, but you clean up so well. You're such a haughty chick. I remember. Do you remember? I always tell you. I'm always like, the day that we went to the dog park and you were wearing that really beautiful flowy shirt and you could see your tattoos on your back and you had your like cute little jeans on that like hugged your butt. And I was like, oh my God, you look fucking hot today at the dog park. And you were like, yeah, it's just nice out. I thought I'd just wear something nice. And I was like, yeah, like you skipped over fucking looking nice and went straight for hot. So like looking nice is jogging pants and a clean shirt, bitch.
Well, that's something I had with our he's our marketing and computer, and he does a lot of things. And they gave us jackets here, not last winter, but the winter before. And they're round plaid jackets, which are really warm and they're efficient and they function good.
Yep.
But when I was on the phone with him, I'm like, I wear male. If it says unisex, it's male. I don't fight me. It's meant to fit a male.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I got no issue with that. I'm just like, I'm one of 4 women. I want a girl jacket. I want female woman. I want something that doesn't make me look like a square and that's brown. Because that's too much to ask. I wear blue Nomex coveralls every day. I wear work boots every day. I dress like a man every day.
Right?
Can I have something that's not instead of just going and buying it myself?
There's more suppliers now out there that are like, I've got a girlfriend of mine who's a manufacturer and supplier for more female.
Oh my God, it made me so excited to see that stuff.
Yeah.
Cover gals and that too.
Yep. There's quite a few of them out there that are suppliers. And like, you met my girlfriend Kat, and Kat has Blue Collar Boutique. And Blue Collar Boutique also is all about that as well. I don't know how much Kat's going to be doing with that right now. And right now she's out in the field. She's going to be on the show too. My kitty cat. She might be on the show when I go, because I'm going to do a podcast. Me and Kat are, as you know, are going to Mexico together with the kids. So I'm taking my kids with one of my chummy girlfriends. I know, and then it's so funny. You know, the other half was like, "It counts." I'm like, "What? There's 2 rooms, bro." He's like, "I'm just saying." I'm like, "You need to calm fuck down. You need to calm fuck down, men." Stupid. So I'm just like, you know, we're super excited. So I was talking to her before we got on this call because I was telling her, you know, I guess in Mexico there was this big news segment about a whole bunch of people getting sick off the food in Mexico in Playa del Carmen, which is where we're going. And I'm like, it's not the same hotel.
Yeah.
And because my mom had sent it all to me and I was like, well, it's not the same hotel. Number 1, it's not the same hotel. Number 2, there's always a risk when you go down to the third world countries. Now, the hotels usually try to take pride. So it could have just been a bad dish. Yeah. And that happens. And then you don't know about it till everybody's fucking eating it. And then instead of having 1 or 2 people be sick, there's now like 30 people sick. And that happens. And I mean, fuck, that happens at the grocery store. How many recalls have there been on lettuce for E. coli?
Oh my word. The amount of recalls in the last like 6 months.
Right? So for me, I'm just like, it's a risk you take regardless. You know, it just means bring some Pepto-Bismol tabs and some Gravol and make sure you have travel insurance.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that's all you got to do. I mean, that's all you can do. And then, I mean, of course, you got to get your Twin Rex, which is your Hep A, Hep B.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going in to get my injection.
Yeah.
I'm probably going in, I think sometime next week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have to get it, a few weeks ahead of the travel or something like that? Yeah. Yeah,
You gotta do it at least a month, and I'll be at least a month. So I'll probably go sometime on the weekend with Jocelyn and just because you can go to the pharmacies and they'll just inject you. I'm like,
oh, nice.
I know.
Yeah,
like, give it to me.
It's been a hot minute since I left Canada.
It's okay.
Which I'm not upset about it. And
you know
like where I'm living now, where
I want to take you to Costa Rica.
Oh, I actually work with somebody who has a house there. Him and his wife built a house there. Yeah. That's what I told him. He's going there this week or next week or whatever. I'm like, just fold me into the suitcase. I'll just I'll just fold into your suitcase.
Well, if your friend has a like, is it male or female?
Guy.
Of course it's a guy. Is he married?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. That makes it less threatening. Well, if him and her are down there, or if we can utilize his space, I can get us down there on buddy passes.
Well, shit, son.
Girl, we go. And so, because I would love to go to Costa Rica. So
yeah,
yeah.
There's a ton of places in the world I'd love to see, but I look at it too. I'm like, if I don't get them in this life, I'll get them in another life.
You're getting them in this life because as long as you and I are friends, I'm going to fucking drag you on a few trips, okay? You're going to get out of goddamn Canada. I'm going to be like, Darcy be like, where are we going? I'll be like, we're going to Greece, bitch. Here's your ticket. Let's go. And while we're there, we're taking the train around places. We're getting on a boat.
Oh, that's one of my travel dreams is to do a train ride. Canada is so expensive to do a train ride on. That's the only reason I've never done it. I'd be fully willing to book a month off and take whatever one it is from coast to coast. I think that would be phenomenal.
I think it would be fun too.
Paying what I could pay to go like twice to Mexico and eat everything I want to eat at any time.
And go wherever you want to go
for free.
Because you're always on a train.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it would be beautiful to do. I might stick my kids on it. When they're older, I might just like if I have the cashola, which I probably will because I always try to make sure my kids travel. But Jocelyn decided that she wants to be in culinary and she wants to travel the world. Now she is such a Sagittarius, that kid. You can't hold her down. She's like, I want to travel the world. I want to experience different foods. I'm like, okay, Canada, you get your red seal. Then we can send you off to France to get your blue seal. I'm like, then you can start traveling the world and finding different cuisines. Go to the UK, go to, South America, go to Central America, go to Africa and learn different cuisines. It was so funny because like the other half was like, oh, just tell her she can stay in hostels. I'm like, I will cut you. She's not staying in a fucking hostel. I'm like, I'll become hostile.
That's for people traveling on a budget.
Yeah, she's not like for me. I can travel. I've got so many friends and family across the world. You know what I mean? That I can just make phone calls and be like, my kid is coming. Make sure she's okay. And these aren't just like hi, bye friends. These are friends I've grown up with. These are family members that I've known my whole life that, I mean, they always say, predators lurk everywhere, but I can tell you right now, I wouldn't be worried. And then if I had to send her brother with her, I'd send her brother. Sorry, my computer decided to talk to me. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, mine too. It's the 10 o'clock or not. What
does it say?
We're just going to dismiss. It's reminding me of my 9 a.m. meeting, which I clicked the link
you're fucking
in
late,
my
bitch.
Outlook. So you'd think that it would talk to each other? I don't know. I expect way too much out of technology, apparently.
I think we all do. Don't worry about it. It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, so I think traveling is an amazing thing. And I think we should do it while we're here. We only have one life. We don't know. We're not going to remember the past life. We'll remember bits and pieces. For those that believe in reincarnation, there's always bits and pieces that you will remember, but you'll never remember the whole thing. It's just like you remember feelings and energy faster than you remember the actual memory itself. There are some people that incredibly have this gift of being like, I can see my whole past life. And I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, is that dangerous?
Right.
Because like, then you have so much intel, like amazing and good for you, but then it's so much intel of all the mistakes you made. It's almost like there's an opportunity for you not to repeat them and an opportunity for you to repeat them because of the comfort that comes from what you know. Yes.
Yes.
Right? Like people who are comfortable in chaos. Yeah. It's like comfortable in chaos, right? And people are like, I don't know why I keep finding myself in, jobs where people treat me like this. I don't know why I keep finding myself in relationships where people treat me like this. And I'm like, because you're comfortable in chaos. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
You're not happy in chaos, but you're comfortable in chaos. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Right? I know. And then being single, there's no real chaos. You're just like, right? I love it. I love sleeping diagonally in my bed.
I don't have a king size, so I don't have that option. I can angle.
Oh yeah, I sleep completely diagonally. Like the pillows are up against, like I have 4 pillows, right? So I have 2 pillows on each side, and then I push them right up against the wall, and then I just like sprawl out like a starfish, basically.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I can starfish.
I know, and I'm like, this is lovely. And then the only way that I can't starfish is when my kid crawls into the bed with me, or if my other half does, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's not there for long enough for me to give a shit. And then he makes fun of me because I'll stick my legs underneath him, and he's like, "Are you going to sleep diagonally?" And I'm like, "Shh, shh, it's my bed.
Shut your mouth."
Yeah, shut your mouth. This is my bed. This is mine. I paid for it. This is my shit. I'm gonna sleep in it how I want to. And he just laughs, so he thinks it's funny. But Tyler will crawl in and he'll line up diagonally with me. He's so cute. And so Tyler will crawl in bed with Mama and line up diagonally and be like, I love you, Mama. And I'm like, are you sleeping with me tonight? It's so funny because, I mean, Ty slept with me till like, he was like 10, 11. 10. He stopped sleeping with me when he was about 10 years old. And so now he's turning 12. And he'll crawl into bed with me and he'll come have a snuggle with me, and I'll be like, oh, you're gonna sleep with Mama? And there's a part of me that like secretly hopes it, even though I was like trying to push him to his own room for a while.
Yeah.
And now he's like, no, I'm gonna sleep in my room. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
My sister's the same with her oldest and that when he wants to lay with her, and she says to me, I'll let him because it's gonna come to an end.
It's true. Like Ty will lay with me. He'll snuggle with me. He'll give me kisses. He's a very cuddly little bug. But I'm also very cuddly with my kids. I always have been. So, they both will come cuddle with me. If Jocelyn comes and cuddles with me, she usually falls asleep in my bed and then she's there. And Joss and I are about close to the same size. So it's like sleeping with an adult, right? Because she's adult size. She's 14 now. She's pretty much done growing. And so then I'm just like, whatever. But Tyler is he's still pretty tiny. So I'm just like, like he's tall, but he's skinny, right? So, the other half is calling on the other line, but bye, I'm on a podcast. I told him too. I'm like, I'm on podcast this morning. I told him, I'm like, I'm on podcast with Darci this morning. He's like, how's Darci? I'm like, nervous. I know it. She texted me at 4:44 this morning.
I texted you 4:44.
I know you did.
I was awake.
Funny because we traded because the day before I texted you 4:44, but I missed the 5:55. I was out running the dogs.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I think I was in the shower. We're getting ready to go in the shower.
It wasn't meant to be. There was no change required at that moment. 5:55. No,
there wasn't. Yes.
I know.
But
I think being women in trades brings a lot of value, but can also bring problems. But I also think there's a lot of men in trades that can bring value and can bring problems.
Oh, so, that's one thing that goes both ways. It's definitely.
Hang on one second.
Okay.
Hang on. Sorry. I'm just going to pause. I'm going to mute my mic. I'm like, are you okay? He's like, oh, there you are. He's like, I'm like, I'm on podcast. He's like, oh, okay, bye. Stupid asshole. He doesn't normally call me like twice. Like he doesn't usually call me like that. So
that's I totally
he usually calls and then he gets tossed away. And he knows I'm on podcast. I don't know why he's being stupid, but it's okay. We're gonna wrap up the podcast and then I'll call him and make sure he's okay. So retardo, and then I'll call you and gossip about it later. That's the great thing about being good friends.
Day.
Do you know how long we've been friends for? Did you do the math?
No, I did not. Fucking, it's got to be close to 20 years or more.
You're not wrong. So we met each other in 2008.
Oh no. Yes, end of 2008, or it was early 2009.
17 years.
Holy.
I was going to say 18. I had to use a calculator because I'm not braining today.
I don't.
17 years, Darce, we've been friends.
Okay.
And we met at the fucking dog park. And
Yes,
our dogs
we
were
did.
assholes and we had to break them apart.
Okay, people listening, we ended up not being able to put our dogs together because they wanted to kill each other for whatever freaking reason.
But we bonded.
And then yes, we did. And I look at it and I regret it. So if I can I talk about muzzles for a second? I learned that, for one, people need to pay better attention to types of muzzles. And two, if I'd have known about muzzles back then with Carias, his life would have been different. I absolutely guarantee it if I'd have known about him. So if you got a problem dog or whatever, just reach out to your vet, talk. Yeah.
I agree with you.
It can make a difference.
No, it's true. And you and I fed off each other and we do help each other. So if you had done the research and known about it, to do the research on muzzles with Carias, I would have put a muzzle on Aragon and we could have let those two be stupid because we wouldn't have had to break them apart. Like, Jesus, I remember we broke those dogs apart too many times.
Oh,
And if it wasn't, people would be like, oh, dogs are just trying to, correct. No, these assholes would have killed each other. Yeah. So, I mean, yours was, what was Carias? Carias was a mix. He was husky.
And like Malamute and...
possibly Akita.
Yeah.
I think there was some Akita.
I should have got him DNA, but back then, DNA testing really wasn't reliable. Even now, you got to be careful who you use to DNA test your dogs with. But I know back then it was I'm like, I'm not spending $100 and some on something that's not going to tell me anything. Anyway, I never found out.
Well, Carias was 80 pounds, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Aragon was a purebred shepherd, and he was 120 pounds. In his final moments, he was 80.
Yeah. Oh.
He was, he was exactly 80 pounds at his final moments, my poor boy. But that was a hard go. I mean, when our dogs cross the Rainbow Bridge, that's a hard go for us, especially when we're big dog lovers. And right now I have two. I have my Maddie Moo that, Aragon, I believe that Aragon pointed me in the direction of Maddie because she looks just like him, but she's a cross. She's a half pitty, half shepherd, but looks like a shepherd with shepherd markings. And then I've got my little foster boy that might end up being mine. And he's he's an XL bully. And I'm keep telling Darcy, you take him. You're without a dog. I'll just drive up to Bonnieville. Here, meet Mazzy. Mazzy, meet Darcy. Yeah. And the dogs get confused because Mazzy and Maddie are too close together. Yes. So I'm yelling at one and they're both like, I'm sorry. Yeah. But he's such a good boy. I enjoy running him. He's, you know what? He is the definition of a true bully breed. He is a suck ass. He's a tank. He loves to be loved. He loves to play. He's sweet with people. He's sweet with dogs, babies, everything. And when you tell him no, he doesn't do it. And so his previous owner was just an amazing person that really helped get this dog to be a good bully. And so it breaks my heart when I hear these stories about bully breeds that attack and people are like, it's the owner. There's two, to me, it's a two-way street. Number one, it was a pack of them and they go into pack mentality.
Oh, is that Airdrie?
The one that happened in Airdrie.
Okay,
so there's a pack.
Yeah, I didn't hear what happened. I just seen the picture.
Yeah. But then you as the owner have to be able to alleviate that pack mentality to have a strong alpha that is not aggressive. Yeah. Because if you have an alpha that is leading that pack to be aggressive, they're going to follow suit. But if you have an alpha that is calm and like, we're not doing that, because they're the ones that they're the ones who make the call. They're the ones that correct the other ones. Right? Is the alpha. So when you have the alpha that's like, we're not doing that, stay away from it, the other dogs aren't going to do anything. So yes, it is an owner thing and it is a pack thing. And when you combine the two and it's just ingredients for disaster.
My dad never wanted more than one dog out on the acreage because he said,
I know you saw it.
Sorry.
Some bit.
Anyway, because they'll form a quit making that face, bitch. I have coffee and cold and 1 second. Hey, have another smoke, Darcy. Any fucking way. Because they'll travel. It'll create a pack mentality. My uncle, who lived in Saskatchewan when I was little, he had a high content wolf dog. Ishtar was her name.
Yeah.
She would gather neighboring dogs and form a pack. And then this little old lady who had cattle, she'd take the pack of dogs to said ranch or farm and take down cattle. So my uncle told the old lady, if you see her, shoot her. Because I'm not tying her up and she'll strangle herself. And this is years ago, so I don't even think invisible fence was a thing.
No.
And whatever, but
maybe, but
I remember back, like, I don't ever remember him having to get rid of her, and I think it stopped. I don't know what happened. I think a couple pot shots or something happened, and she quit going out there, but she didn't die of unnatural causes.
Well, that's good. That's good, because we still are in an area, like in Canada, if you go out to the rural areas in different provinces, it doesn't really matter what province you're in. If you go out to the rural areas, and your dog is caught hard running anything, they'll shoot it. Yeah. They're like, fuck you. You're not hard running deer. You're not hard running elk. You're not hard running moose. We'll shoot it. So now that if your dog is out caught hard running something, it's toast. And the farmers don't give a shit. And they will. Yep. They love dogs. It's not that they hate dogs. It's that they don't want their livestock and they don't want the wildlife being hard ran. And that's all it comes down to. Mm-hmm. So, that's why people say, put your dog on a fucking leash. Yep. And then in Ontario, bullies are against the law. Did you know that?
Oh, they still have BSL there?
They're against the law.
Yeah.
You'll be destroyed immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, what happens if I was talking to Greg and Mandy about this, and I was like, hey, what happens if you were to fly in with a bully? They said if they find out it's a bully breed and we didn't catch it because the airlines don't send them, you can't fly with a bully breed. But if they find out in Ontario that you've landed with a bully breed, they'll automatically take your dog and destroy it and give you a $5,000 fine. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, I did not.
I'm like, Ontario.
That. Holy crap.
Are you scared of bully breeds, Ontario?
Is such a bullshit. Ugh. That's a whole other hour discussion.
Agreed. We'll have to come back on and do that. Right? Okay.
Talk about all the wrongs and how to rate them, damn it.
Right? I'll wind us up because it's I've got to run off to another thing, and you're going to be a busy girl today anyways too, because it's your day off, and day off means that you need to do a lot of nothing. So
I'm going to pick up a half a beef though.
Yeah. Oh, did he call you? Are you going to get that?
Yes, I'm going to get it today after this.
Fantastic. Yes. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thanks for being on the show, Darci.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I love you too, girl.
Okay.
But anyway.
So, what? I want to go up to Bonnyville, so I'm going to try and do that.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's 3 bedrooms. I live here all by myself.
Okay, I'll bring the dogs.
Yeah, I just still don't have a fence.
Whatever, they listen. They listen.
Yeah, well, and
they're good. They're obedient.
And that if the dog comes in, you know why I worry.
Let the dog come in. I got a gun. Right? No, I'm just kidding. What happened? We in Bonnyville. What?
We got it's a paintball gun. Your dog comes back with neon green.
I mean, agreed. Okay, so for those of you listening, I appreciate you following Devil's Advocate Trades Edition. As always, have a wonderful day and don't do anything crazy.